This is Final Fight Double Impact, no relation to the Jean-Claude Van Damme film. It's called Double Impact because you get two games with one game. Final Fight and Magic Sword from Capcom. This is a downloadable game available on Xbox Live and PlayStation 3. We're watching the PS3 version. Let's look at the Final Fight gameplay. I'll cover Magic Sword in its own review. The mayor's daughter is kidnapped by a bunch of thugs. Isn't this the plot of every single side-scrolling beat-em-up from the late 90s? Maybe it's just this one. Final Fight. This game is about as final as Final Fantasy, but not that final. Final Fantasy is final all the way up to 13 now. This one does have numerous sequels because it's a popular game. The original was released in the arcades in 1989. What we're playing here is a nice recreation of the old school arcade version, complete with an arcade cabinet style. You can turn that on or off, but I think it looks really nice. It's a lot better than just some generic background with fire. I'll start off here playing as Guy. Many of you more familiar with the Super Nintendo version of Final Fight will notice that Guy is not in that version. In fact, there's lots of changes in that version. The Super Nintendo cartridge was rather sanitized. You can see that in my review of Final Fight on the Super Nintendo. But here we get all the good stuff. Half-naked chicks with handcuffs, bad guys named Sodom, the Oh My God line, and you can actually play with two players. Final Fight has two very important elements that make it a terrific video game. One, the ability to beat people with a pipe, and two, health power-ups in the form of food under trash cans. Nothing says fresh like cooked meat laying under a pile of tires. It adds flavor, it's like seasoning. The same two things also help make Streets of Rage an awesome game series. In fact, this is very similar to Sega's Streets of Rage. If you like one, you'll probably like the other. Final Fight does not have much in the way of button combinations. In fact, it's very simple. Very straightforward. You have an attack, and you can jump. You can also pull off a special move by hitting both buttons at the same time, clearing out enemies around you, but that takes some of your health away. Only for use in emergency situations. You may notice all of these challenge unlocking things at the bottom of the screen from time to time. This is one of my earlier playthroughs. Those are not trophies and achievement points. What I'm doing is unlocking character artwork, comic book pages, and sketches. I'll show you some of that at the end. They look like they'd be annoying at first, but actually it's really cool. I mean, this game didn't need much in the way of additional things to make it better anyway. It's already a fun game. But it does give you something else to shoot for. You can continue indefinitely through Final Fight. Although this game is the perfect quarter-eating arcade game because you want to play through the whole way, but I think it's virtually impossible to do so on one quarter. I'm sure some of you can do it. I'm terrible at these games, so it would take me like $5 to play through the whole thing.
Oh my god!
So, when you look at it like that, buying this and Magic Sword together is quite a bargain. And you can play it with friends over your respective video game console. Xbox, Network, PlayStation, Live. Terrific music in the game, and I showed you a little bit of the variation in screen sizes. You can select this nice zoom mode here and then set the graphics style to classic, making it sharper. It looks more like the Super Nintendo version that I'm familiar with. Or you can leave on the arcade background and then also set the screen to look like an arcade CRT monitor. Or you can set it to fill the entire screen with gameplay. This is a really nice feature. Even though you can get Final Fight for numerous other game consoles, this is the best one I've seen. I'm getting mauled in this part, and I love the Andre the Giant ripoff guy. A friend of mine had Final Fight on the Super Nintendo, so I spent some time playing that game, and recently I played it again for the review. I forgot how much slowdown was in that game cartridge. There's none of that in here. Very smooth. I can't tell if Guy is grinning during this scene or not. Let's take a look at some of the unlockables, most of which I don't find terribly exciting, but it does give you something to shoot for. And there's a bunch I haven't gotten to yet, so I can't speak for all of them. Maybe there is something really exciting hidden in there. And that's the game, Final Fight, Double Impact, Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. Best played with 2 players. It's always difficult when you get surrounded by enemies, or you're constantly being set on fire. Always fun. Good old school action, brought back with a terrific presentation. So don't forget to watch my review of this on the Super Nintendo and, of course, Magic Sword.